I was always the forgotten child in my family. My younger sister was my parents' favorite, and every achievement of mine was treated as insignificant. On my 21st birthday, I thought things would finally be different, but from morning until night, nobody even wished me happy birthday. When I came home, the house was filled with balloons, lights, and expensive decorations. For one brief moment, I thought it was all for me. Then my mother smiled and said, "Go change your clothes. Tonight is your sister's surprise birthday party." That's when I realized everyone had forgotten my birthday while spending over $10,000 on hers. I wish I could tell you I was exaggerating. I wish I could say I misunderstood. I didn't. I stood in the front doorway, with my work bag still hanging from my shoulder. For a few seconds, I couldn't move. I looked at the balloons. I looked at the flowers. Then I looked at my mom. She smiled at me, but not the way a mother smiles at her daughter on her birthday. It was the smile of someone who had 100 things to do. "Olivia," she said, "you're home." I nodded. "Good. Go upstairs and change. Emma will be here in less than an hour." I waited. I honestly waited for the next sentence. The one that never came. "Happy birthday. We're so proud of you. We didn't forget anything." Instead, she walked past me carrying a box of candles. "Can you hurry? We still have a lot to finish." I looked over at my dad. He was standing near the dining room, talking on the phone. When he noticed me, he pointed toward the driveway. "Can you move your car? We need room for the guests." That was all he said. I quietly picked up my backpack and walked upstairs. The moment I closed my bedroom door, I sat on the edge of my bed. I didn't cry right away. I just stared at the floor. My phone buzzed. It was my best friend, Rachel. "Happy 21st birthday, Liv. I hope today is everything you deserve. I love you." I read her message 3 times. Then I put my phone down. She remembered. My family didn't. That somehow hurt even more. People always ask if there were signs growing up. There were. I just spent years convincing myself they weren't real. Emma is 3 years younger than me. She isn't a bad person. She never bullied me. She never asked my parents to treat us differently. She simply grew up being everyone's favorite. When she brought home average grades, my parents celebrated how hard she had worked. When I brought home straight A's, Dad would smile and say, "That's what we expect from you." When Emma forgot to clean her room, Mom laughed and called her absent-minded. When I forgot to take out the trash once, I heard about it for a week. Little things. Always little things, until one day you realize those little things have become your entire childhood. When I was 17, I won a statewide essay competition. My English teacher hugged me. The principal shook my hand. My parents never came to the ceremony. Emma had a soccer tournament that afternoon. "We'll celebrate next weekend," Mom promised. We never did. The next month, Emma got a participation medal at a local sports camp. My parents invited the whole family over for dinner. I remember standing in the kitchen, helping wash dishes, while everyone congratulated her. No one mentioned my competition. Not once. I told myself it didn't matter. But it did. It always did. I changed into a simple blue dress, washed my face, and went back downstairs. Mom handed me a tray filled with glasses. "Can you take these outside?" "Sure." "And after that, help the caterers set up." I nodded. I spent the next hour carrying drinks, arranging plates, and helping wherever someone pointed. Guests started arriving. Some smiled at me. Some thanked me for helping. Nobody wished me a happy birthday. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they assumed the party was for me at first. Maybe they simply followed everyone else's lead. I don't know. Around 6 o'clock, my Aunt Karen walked into the kitchen. "There you are." She smiled. "I need another pair of hands." I followed her into the dining room. A huge birthday cake sat on the table. For one tiny second, hope found me again. Maybe there were 2 cakes. Maybe. Then I saw the writing. "Happy birthday, Emma. gold lettering. Fresh flowers, at least 4 tiers. It looks beautiful, I said quietly. It should, my aunt replied. Your parents paid a fortune for it. I forced a smile. I'm sure Emma will love it. Oh, she's going to cry. I looked away before anyone noticed the tears gathering in my own eyes. A little later, the lights inside the house were turned off. Everyone crowded near the front door. Dad checked his watch. They're here. The door opened. Emma stepped inside. Everyone shouted together. Surprise! She gasped so loudly that everyone laughed. Oh my gosh! Mom hugged her tightly. We've been planning this for months. Dad wrapped one arm around her shoulders. Our little girl deserves the best. I stood near the back of the room, watching, smiling when everyone else smiled, pretending my heart wasn't breaking. After dinner, Dad asked everyone to step outside. A brand new SUV sat in the driveway with a giant red bow across the hood. Emma covered her mouth. No way. Dad tossed her the keys. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Everyone clapped. Mom wiped tears from her eyes. I've always dreamed of giving you this moment. I quietly slipped back into the kitchen. No one noticed I was gone. I turned on the faucet and started washing dishes that were already clean. It gave me something to do. It also covered the sound of me crying. A few minutes later, I felt someone standing beside me. It was my grandmother. She didn't say anything right away. She simply handed me a dish towel. After a long silence, she asked softly, How long have you been pretending this doesn't hurt? I looked down at the sink. I don't know. She sighed. I should have spoken up years ago. Before I could ask what she meant, Mom called from the backyard. Olivia, we need more ice. Grandma squeezed my hand. We'll talk after everyone leaves. She walked away. I stood there wondering what she meant. About an hour later, the doorbell rang. I'll get it, I said. When I opened the door, Rachel was standing there holding a small gift bag and a cupcake with a single candle. She smiled. Happy birthday, Liv. Then she looked past me. She saw the decorations, the banner, the gifts, the crowd. Slowly, the smile disappeared from her face. She looked back at me. Then she whispered, They really forgot, didn't they? Rachel looked back at me. Then she whispered, They really forgot, didn't they? I couldn't answer. I just looked down at the little cupcake in her hands. The candle was still burning. For the first time that entire day, someone had brought me something that was actually meant for me. Rachel didn't wait for an answer. She already knew. She stepped inside and quietly closed the front door behind her. I've been texting you all day, she said softly. I thought you were busy celebrating. I forced a smile. I guess I was. She looked toward the backyard. Everyone was laughing. Music was playing. Emma was opening another gift. Rachel turned back to me. I'm so sorry. Those 4 words almost broke me. I had held myself together all day. But hearing someone acknowledge my pain, that was different. My eyes filled with tears. Rachel immediately hugged me. I didn't even try to stop crying anymore. I kept thinking they'd remember. I whispered, I know. I wasn't expecting a huge party. I know. I just wanted my mom or dad to say 2 words. Rachel rubbed my back. I know. For a few minutes, neither of us spoke. The music outside covered the sound of me crying. Eventually, I pulled away and wiped my face. I don't want to ruin Emma's night. Rachel looked at me with disbelief. You're worried about ruining her night? It's not her fault. No, Liv. She shook her head. It isn't. But it isn't yours either. Before I could respond, my mom walked into the hallway. Oh. She looked surprised to see Rachel. Hi. Rachel smiled politely. Hi, Mrs. Carter. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were coming. I just wanted to drop off Olivia's birthday gift. My mom smiled absent-mindedly. That's sweet of you. Then she looked at me. Olivia, could you help refill the drinks? We're running low. Rachel stared at my mom. She waited. She waited for her to realize what she had just said. It never happened. My mom smiled again and walked away. The hallway became quiet. Rachel slowly turned toward me. She really doesn't know. I shook my head. No. Rachel looked angry, angrier than I had ever seen her. I can't believe this. It's okay. No, it isn't. She lowered her voice. Liv, today is your 21st birthday. I know. And your own mother just thanked me for bringing you a birthday gift without realizing why I brought it. I didn't answer, because there wasn't anything left to say. Rachel handed me the small gift bag. Open it. Inside was a silver bracelet. It wasn't expensive. It didn't have to be. There was also a folded card. I opened it carefully. On the front, she had written, "To the strongest person I know." Inside, she wrote, "One day, people will celebrate you the way you deserve. Until then, I'll never forget your birthday." I started crying again. Rachel laughed through her own tears. Okay, now you're making me cry. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. She smiled. You've apologized for existing your whole life. Her words stayed with me, because she wasn't wrong. I apologized when I asked for help. I apologized when I succeeded. I apologized whenever I needed attention. Somehow I had learned that taking up space made me a burden. A loud cheer came from outside. Rachel looked through the window. What happened? I looked, too. Dad was standing beside Emma with a microphone. He raised his glass. I just want everyone to know how proud we are of our youngest daughter. Everyone clapped. Mom wrapped an arm around Emma. You've brought so much happiness into our lives. Rachel looked at me. I looked away. I didn't want her to see how much those words hurt. Not because my parents loved Emma. Because I couldn't remember the last time they had ever said something like that about me. Dad continued speaking. Emma has always had the biggest heart. She's the light of this family. She deserves every wonderful thing coming her way. More applause. Rachel whispered, "What about you?" I smiled, sadly. I guess I'm the electricity bill. That made her laugh for a second. Then she looked guilty for laughing. I'm sorry. It's okay. It was actually funny. For the first time all day, I laughed, too. Only for a moment. But it felt nice. Then my grandmother quietly stepped into the hallway. She looked at Rachel. Oh. Rachel smiled politely. Hello. Grandma nodded before turning to me. Olivia, can I speak with you? Of course. Rachel squeezed my hand. I'll wait. I followed Grandma into the small sitting room near the front entrance. She closed the door behind us. For a long moment, she simply looked at me. Then she reached into her purse. I've carried something with me for almost 3 years. She placed a sealed white envelope on the table. My name was written across the front in familiar handwriting. I froze. I recognized that handwriting immediately. It belonged to my grandfather. He had passed away 3 years earlier. I slowly looked up at Grandma. What is this? Her eyes filled with tears. It's something he asked me to give you. I frowned. Then why didn't you? She lowered her head. Because your father asked me not to. My heart started beating faster. What? He told me to wait until the time was right. I stared at the envelope. My grandfather and I had been incredibly close. He never forgot my birthday. Not once. Every year, he mailed me a handwritten letter. Even after he became too sick to travel. The last birthday before he died, he had held my hands and smiled. No matter what happens, Liv, never doubt how much you're loved. I thought about those words almost every day after we lost him. Now his handwriting was sitting right in front of me. I looked back at Grandma. Why today? She took a slow breath. Because after watching what happened tonight. A tear rolled down her cheek. I realized I can't stay silent anymore. She gently pushed the envelope toward me. Open it. With trembling hands, I slipped one finger beneath the seal. Just as I started unfolding the first page inside, I heard my father calling my name from the backyard. "Olivia, where are you? We need you out here." I looked down at the letter, then back toward the closed door. Something told me that whatever my grandfather had written was about to change everything.